So today's been kind of like an administrative day. We do a thing called GarageBands Live. We do live music streaming every single week, Thursday and Fridays, and we built this really awesome like production box. And I'll go over that in a different video, but today specifically I wanna kind of talk about wireless video transmitters, and specifically Teradek versus the Hollyland Mars 300 Pro. For us, we use a wired camera system, so we convert HDMI to Ethernet and then run our Ethernet cables and convert it back to HDMI at the camera. Your camera position might need to be somewhere farther away than you can like logistically make a cable run, or you just want the freedom of not being tethered to a cable to get even better shots, in which case you want to use a wireless video transmitter. I've had the privilege to be able to use the Teradek Bolt 1000 system over the weekend, thanks to Ohio HD. If you don't know, Ohio HD is a high-end production company that does rentals. So if you need a Sony FS7 with a fancy lens, you can find that at Ohio HD. Make sure you look up Ohio HD if you're doing a production in the Columbus, Ohio area. I'll leave a link down in the description for you guys to find them. But once again, shout out to Ohio HD for loaning me the Teradek unit to go over for this video. So with that being said, I want to show you guys a little bit of like the differences between the Teradek versus the Hollyland. The trick here is trying to get a wireless transmitter to mesh well with other wired cameras. The cheaper wireless transmitters have a fair amount of delay. Okay, so latency isn't a terribly huge issue until you have to worry about the timing of things, like when you're using music, for example. If you're shooting an interview, the audio is going to come into the camera the same time as the video feed, and that's perfect. Latency really isn't an issue at that point. But for what we do when we stream music, we're taking all of the audio from many different inputs, right? Vocal mics, drum mics, direct inputs, all the way into our sound control room using a Behringer X32, and we mix the audio, and then we send that over to our ATEM Mini Extreme ISO. And by the time it gets there, we have to be really concerned with what audio is coming from what source to line up with the video, since they're not coming in at the same time. So I wanted to show you a little demonstration as far as what I mean. We can do something as simple as a clap. You can see on the Hollyland, it's a lot farther behind than the Teradek. This is so crucial when you're using a wireless video transmitter, especially for music, because when you have to show the timing of, let's say, a drummer, when the stick hits the cymbal, you need to hear that cymbal crash at the same time as you see it. And likewise with the guitar, when you strum, you need to be able to see the strum happen at the same time as you hear it. Otherwise, it just looks really, really weird. Okay, so using the Bolt is kind of ridiculously easy. As soon as you put power to it, and we're kind of using you're supposed to use a D-tap battery with these 2-pin LEMOs, but we've got this battery plate also supplied by the rental house there, and we're using battery power to power the transmitter, and we're using shore power, plug-in power for the receiver. Once you plug these in, most of the time they just sync right up. It's almost like some voodoo wireless magic. It just syncs up and it's great. But if you don't get it to sync up, it's really easy to just press the menu button, go down to pairing, hit pairing, and they pair. When it pairs, it takes a good hard minute. So don't freak out if you're trying to get your signal back right away. It'll come. This is a pretty awesome antenna array, and that'll help you get like a really focused beam of penetration. So if you know you're going to be working in a particular spot and you want to make sure you have a good signal, you would hook the receiver up to these antenna pigtails and take these off, and then you have a nicer little antenna array. I found the Teradek to be wildly advantageous over the cheaper, less expensive Hollyland. For our purposes, it worked amazing, and I think I'd be obviously willing to give this guy a run in the future for those live productions. And like I said, if you're using a wireless transmitter where the audio comes from the transmitter too, latency may not be an issue. But when you're working on a live production and your audio source and your video source are coming from two different directions, it's going to be wise for you to choose a wireless transmitter with the least amount of delay as possible. Like I said, you'll never get the same exact latency with wired and wireless, but whenever you can try to come as close as possible, I think Teradek definitely did a better job than the Mars 300 Pro. Yeah, let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below. And we've got a lot more videos in the pipeline. We've definitely made some headway on our production box, which I can't wait to show you. It's so close to being finished, and it's pretty cool what we've built in there. So look forward to that in a future video. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button, and we'll see you in the next one.